Alright, this is Kara Hurst and Trixie, her 4-year-old, at their very first Bulls and Barrels. That's you coming in the turquoise top back there. I'm going to let this go through regular and then do a slow play review for you. You've set her up for her lead there. She takes off really nicely and looks like she gets in and out in 2 strides. And her rate, she was a little steady on second. Looked like you had a little trouble getting her over and getting her deep enough. But ultimately only 2 strides of rate and only 2 strides around each barrel. And you had a 19.6, which is a second and a half off the fastest time. So now we're going to let it go back through. I believe a 17.9 won it. So you're a second and a half out on her at her very first Bulls and Barrels. She handled it really great, and you came in again from back over here. There you are in the turquoise top. There's a bunch of bulls down by third barrel. You had a lot of people here. The good thing was you were in slack, so you had plenty of time to let her desensitize to the noise and the crowd. You set her for a lead. Right there, she takes it right from the mouth of the arena. And right there, you're in a nice go position. The electric eye is in that blue barrel right next to that light pole. So she's already, reaching out, running hard. 1, 2. There's her stride of rate. She right there. She starts getting under herself. So your first stride of rate, your second stride of rate. 1, 2. And then I really like your approach going into second barrel here. It's, a perfect about 3 feet off the barrel, which is really good. I like how you're sitting in the middle of your horse. 1, 2. I like how you just kept your hand in a nice neutral position right there. And that's really key. A lot of people get in their horse's way. Your hand's in a very neutral position, and then you pick her up on the back side and help her finish. And that was good. You just bent that elbow, lifted that hand an inch. That guides her nose, and she's able to leave hard and straight. You're double kicking out, and right there you feel her starting to want to rate a little bit too much. So, you're still about, probably 3 strides from the barrel, and she's putting on the brakes, which this was a marathon size pattern. A 17.9 won it, and it was a huge pattern, and the ground's heavy, so she was set in 1, 2. So you did good to try to keep her going a little bit longer. So right there's her first stride of rate, and then second stride of rate, and then you realize, all right, I'm there. So you go back to being neutral. If I could fault anything, I would say a little less pressure on that inside rein. But, she stayed clear. If she was a real steady horse, that might have caused you to hit the barrel. Because she's a novice horse, she handled your guiding, and she's not one to want to hit a barrel, and so she's wanting to get around it, so you're okay. 1, 2, that was really nice. And again, you're just guiding your hand. You just kind of keep it in a neutral position. You're leaning a little bit to the outside there because I think you can feel like you're getting a little tight there. So you just give it back to her to get that extra little tiny bit of a extension right here. That extension is what allowed you to clear that barrel. And then you help her on the exit. So that was all really, really good timing. You sat back for just a moment and hug with that outside leg, sat deep in that saddle, right at spot 3, your exit, which is exactly where you should be shifting your weight. So good job there. And then you're double kicking her, hustling her out. Right there, 1. Okay, so she did her rate. Right there is her first stride of rate, second stride of rate, and then again you're floating her into that third barrel, which looks really good as well. Your hand is just guiding very nicely. 1, 2, and then you're really good, Kara, with helping her on the exits with just a little bit more guide and pick up, and then she comes around nicely. Overall, your baby was a second and a half out, and let's double check you got all of the eye. You didn't want to lose your hat. So your hand was back a little bit. The race is not over until we hit that eye. So don't fool with your hat. Get some fishing string or twine, or go get a hat string and do it professionally, whatever. But don't get distracted with your hats, because look at your rein hand. You're messing with your hat. You're like, oh, I'm losing my hat. So your focus got off getting to the eye to get into your hat, and you're pulling back right there, and you're not to the barrel yet. I mean, to the eye yet, which is in that blue barrel right there. So she might have been thinking, whoa, it might not have cost you but a tenth or two. But hey, you know, everything matters in barrel racing, so just consider that. But I'm so, so pleased with Trixie and how good she did at her first Bulls and Barrels. Congratulations.